Johanna Gretschel here with Ryan Fenton and Nia Akins at the running event here in Austin. Awesome to have you here. Congratulations on a huge breakthrough season.
Thank you.
Has life changed at all for you? What's it like to be the reigning U.S. champion?
It feels the same as before, to be honest. It feels pretty good. I think this year I'm definitely going into indoors and outdoors with a little bit more pressure than last year, which I think that's new, but it feels good. I'm excited, so it's probably a good thing.
You're kind of part of this amazing group of American women in the 800. I mean, I feel like it must be like one of the most deep events in track and field in the United States. How does it feel to be at the forefront of that, to be battling it out with these ladies and now finding yourself at the top?
Yeah, the 800 women in the U.S. right now is so stacked, which is pretty cool because I feel like pretty much any race in any part of the States is going to be good. So I always felt like towing the line, like this could be my fastest race. It might take that to win. It might take that to even be second or third, to be honest. So it's definitely helped me to approach every race like it's the final. And then I think that made Budapest a lot easier because, I kind of like walked into that with the same approach. And, I'm one of 3 U.S. women in the final, and they're doing it with me, and there's some familiarity there too. So it's pretty cool.
Just with that depth that JoJo's talking about, I mean, that kind of comes with the territory of like you can never have an off day, right? Mm-hmm. Because those ladies are always there, always ready. Something changed for you this year, it seemed like, the consistency. I think with 7 times you ran under 2 minutes, which is significant. Like what helped you get to that point where you stepped on the line and you knew you were going to be ready to roll?
Yeah, I was talking with Danny, and we were kind of looking at last year, and I ran pretty fast at very awkward times in the season, like maybe not at the times that I wanted to run my best. So we were kind of looking at training and how we could kind of move stuff around. So I'm kind of like having my best races at champs. And for me, that was training through camps this year. So I raced a lot less than I normally would. And then just had full training blocks in Albuquerque. And I think that really opened up a lot of doors for me. So.
Was that tough to balance? Because, racing brings confidence, but training brings fitness, right? And so you have to balance those out. How tough was that to change that, but also know you were going to be ready when you started racing?
Yeah, I think altitude is just kind of like this different universe for everybody, where like you're just with the team. It's like a little bubble where you just train, you work hard, you eat right. And I think just having that uninterrupted for like a month and a half ended up just being really beneficial. I felt like I gained a lot more confidence than I thought that I would. And some of my teammates were going back and forth racing too, and they were racing well. And I trained with them every day. So I'm like, okay, I might not be racing. And I was always really jealous and like bummed that I was the one kind of left behind at camp. But I was gaining confidence from them too and from their performances. So, yeah.
What work do you do on the mental side of the sport?
A lot of journaling. I write a lot. I'd say like every morning when I wake up, I kind of like write how I'm feeling. Anytime I'm feeling like anxious or like honestly just kind of like scared, to be honest, because I see like people from other teams like running really fast, or some women like dropping some crazy fast times in the 8. And I'm like, oh gosh, like I really want to be at Worlds, but that means that I have to race against them and I have to be like a lot faster than I am now. I just like to write them down and kind of like get to the bottom of where they're coming from, and then after training sessions, kind of like look back at the work that I did and kind of, write down things that I can improve upon, but mostly like write down things that I did really well. And then over time, like especially at the end of the season, I'll like look back at all those things and kind of see like how far I've come, and like especially at the beginning of the season, like so nervous for indoor nationals, and then it went really well. And then so for outdoors, I was like, okay, like I'm just as nervous as I was for indoors, but the payoff could be great. So I just have to like get through this moment. So I think kind of having those archives is really helpful for me.
Yeah, it's interesting talking about the beginning of the season, being almost scared of the other women you have to race against.
Oh yeah, I'm terrified.
How do you change that?
I'm terrified, but I'm also just like big fans of everybody. So I just like, I just think that it's an honor, honestly, to be racing against them. And like, I don't know when I'm gonna get the opportunity again. Like, you never know how your season's gonna go. So in the moment, I'm like, I just have to make the best of it and just be the best first, second B, or second or third. But I think this past year, there was a lot of like, even in the race, being like, oh my gosh, like, like Raven's right there. And I kind of had to like check that and just focus on the race and kind of run like it's just anybody, you know, which is very hard to do because, yeah, the women that I'm competing against are all incredible. So, yeah.
It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you think of this as more of a mental shift or maybe more of a tactical, like race planning shift. But I read that this past year, you know, it was more about place than time, and you threw that out the window and you said, I want to try to beat the people I'm running against. What brought that about, and is that more of a mental shift than a tactical shift, or how do you approach it?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. Like for indoor nationals, we didn't peak for that. Like I wasn't in peak training shape. We were just kind of training through. So like I knew whatever I walked away with, whether that was like first, second, third, or you know, not even a podium at all, like I would have to really work for it because it just wasn't going to come easily. So walking away from that, knowing like, okay, I might not run the fastest time of the year, but I can place as well as possible. I think I kind of took that mentality and kind of like ran with it for the rest of the year because we were just training through everything and just trying to peak for outdoor USAs and then re-peak for Budapest because like USAs is just so hard to get through. You kind of have to like peak and be the best shape possible for that, and then you know take a break after that, then re-peak for Budapest. So that was kind of the goal. Outdoor USAs was so fun for me because I was like, wow, I'm actually like I know I'm fit. Like I know I'm fit, and we prepared for this moment. So it was easier in a way because of that, but. Probably one of the hardest, I think that was the hardest meet for me just because USA is just so stressful. Like Budapest is the end of the line, like USA is getting there, so yeah.
What was that like when you finally got to USA's? And really indoors, I guess, was the first taste, but this last year, you know, your first two major titles that you got to win and be called US champ, what were those moments like for you?
They were surreal. I think I just like have watched so many other people kind of like have those moments, and I never like I don't think I ever thought like, oh, that could be me one day. So I think when it happened, I was just kind of like shocked, and it felt like a little mundane, and then I was just kind of like hungry for the next thing, and I felt like Danny says it best. Danny's like, I feel like your year last year was like a video game. Like after indoor nationals, outdoor nationals came, and there were like new challengers added that were like a little bit better. And then at Budapest, there were like new challengers added. So he's like, I don't know how you're gonna finish. But he was like, yeah, you leveled up each time, which is great. And that's kind of the goal for next year is to keep leveling up, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, that must be just so valuable to have that world final experience going into an Olympic year. Like you already know what to expect.
Super helpful, yeah. I think even just like going through USAs, Worlds felt pretty similar, to be honest, because there's also 3 rounds and it's just also really deep and competitive. There's just different countries. So I think like going through USA's honestly helped a lot, and just being there with Team USA, like a lot of the big names are Team USA, and like I was there early, so like you kind of get over the being lost in the lights and being with all the big names pretty quickly, and then you just kind of like get down to business, and the track's the same everywhere, so yeah.
Oh, I like that. The track's the same everywhere.
Yeah, I was always looking down. If I look up, it's different because there's a lot of people, but it's still 800 meters when I look down, so yeah.
So getting to Worlds, you know, we're talking about this U.S. title, right? U.S. champ, get to Worlds, make the final. You had 2 of your teammates in front of you that you beat at USA's. So how did you walk away from that experience in terms of seeing where they were, where you wanted to be, and how you take that experience to 24?
Yeah, I think honestly, like I know like the women that I'm competing against at Worlds, like they were way more experienced than I was. So just kind of like watching what they were doing and taking note, and you know, knowing that this is my first time, but not like counting myself out because it's my first time. And then you know, I'm excited to see all of those tools kind of come together for this year, because it is, you know, it won't feel as new, hopefully. Obviously it's going to be different because it's an Olympic year versus a world year, but yeah, the goal is to kind of have the same experience, but like a little bit better and to come in a little bit more knowledgeable and yeah, not get so lost in the lights.
Last question I have for you is just this Beast group has grown over the years since this team formed. You're here in Austin with Josh, world champ. You were on the team last year with Isaiah, right, in the 800. What's it like to have that group? And those aren't the only ones that have been to the Olympics now. Like having that group to train with every day and key off of and learn from, how has that affected your improvement as a runner?
Yeah, honestly, like this past year, like Isaiah, Josh, obviously, Marta, obviously, like they'd all been to Worlds before. So I was benefiting so much from all of their knowledge and feedback. Like Isaiah's just very realistic about everything. Marta's like, she's a philosopher, to be honest. Like she's just like very philosophical about everything. And then Josh just has this really terrifying, confident personality. So between like the three of them, I was like ready to go. I like from all angles of knowledge and everything. I just felt covered. And I'm excited to kind of be a part of that like knowledge bank for the rest of my teammates this year, because there's a lot of people that are just like so close. So I'm excited. We're like, it's honestly like a family. Like we live together at camp, and yeah, we just have a lot of fun. So
nice. For fans, where can they see you coming to 2024 as your road to Paris?
Yeah, I'm starting at UW. I'm gonna run a mile, which I'm actually excited about. Last chance meet, and then I will be at US Indoors.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We wish you all the best for 24, and thanks for being down here in Austin with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much.